Team, is there a best camo pattern? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below. My personal favorite, I think, if I'm honest with you, I will always love M81 Woodland. Classic Americana. It's what I was issued. I absolutely love it. But I've grown extremely fond of multicam Tropic. I can't stand multicam. I think it's too brown. Unless you are in a dry, arid climate where it's a lot more brown and a lot more rocky. If you're operating anywhere where there's green, you need something, if you don't want to be seen, something like M81 or the multicam Tropic. The problem with multicam Tropic is that it's not easy to find the stuff, right? If you want to find the stuff, this is not the camo pattern, other than like backpacks and pouches and things like this. To actually find a good blouse, this can be an extreme challenge. So I've had a lot of questions about this blouse, and so we're gonna talk about this blouse. So I do particularly like this blouse for a couple reasons I'm going to show you. If you want to check it out, it does come from the land down under. There's a link down in the description. It is not affiliated. This isn't sponsored. They don't know I'm making this video. I'm just trying to answer the mail for you guys. Now, this one is made by Plat Attack. This is the Jungle Kurtz shirt, and I'm wearing a size large regular, which is my normal American size. So I think that these guys did a really good job doing some R&D to figure out how we could make an existing product better and unique. So thinking about the buttons, they're an improvement over a standard button with just 4 holes, because these offer some really good articulation to get them in and out. On the sleeves, they have 3 points that you can connect them to, or if you want to roll them up because you're a badass, go ahead and do that. A pocket on either sleeve, and they have dual access points. So if you are not worried about being overly quiet, you can simply rip it up, not to be confused with whip it, or you can use the side entry zipper, and plenty of room for all the stuff, right? All the stuff. The exact same pocket on the left is the exact same pocket on the right. They did add in some Velcro for all you cool guy basement dwellers who like to put on patches, but same entrance, Velcro top, and zippered on the side. What they added to these pockets in addition was a small sewn in loop so that you can dummy cord stuff inside your pocket so that you don't drop them. Oh, no big deal. It's dummy corded. Also, each of the shoulder pockets feature a pin loop, and they are also gusseted with some mesh in there for breathability and to keep things draining in the proper way. And that way you don't have to get your rod punched. Now, moving down from head to toe, the first thing that we're going to encounter is a small vertical pocket that is Velcro only. And it's the perfect size for a base plate compass. And just like other pockets, they have a sewn in loop so that you can dummy cord it. It will not fit anything larger than the Untu, I don't believe, but it is a perfect size for that. Now for breast pockets, there are 2. Not 4. I kind of wish they added the lower ones like we had on our M81 Woodland blouses that were issued to us, but these only have the top, and access is one-sided and one-sided only, and it's Velcro only. They do have a button, but I'm not sure why they put that button there, because you still have the Velcro. But decent enough sized, and they have a little slant to them, so they're a little bit easier to get into, to get your pokey bait. The breast pockets also feature something else which I think is really cool, and it's a little piece of breathable mesh. So not only is it not really designed to breathe because you've got all the fabric between you and it, but any water will not stay there. It will fall through and evaporate out pretty easy. So that's a pretty good little design as well. Thing on and off, we have a series of buttons. Now, because this is made down in Australia, they like to do things bass-ackwards, just like the rest of the Europeans. And so the men's blouse zips up like we would a female blouse here in the United States. But you do have 4 buttons, all stitched on the exact same, and then a long zipper. So again, that's cool. You can button it up a little bit more breathing, make it a little bit more breathable, or you can do both, one or the other, right? And another great design enhancement that they added in was making the back breathable. And as you can tell, I like to mix match my camo too. In this case, I got the Wranglers and the multicam Tropic. Extremely well constructed, a solid zipper. Everything on this thing is just really well made and well worth the money. I have no doubt that this thing is gonna last me for years to come. Team, let me know what you think about this blouse, and we will continue to keep this conversation rolling. I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments about camo patterns in general, and is there a best one for your area, and list it down below. You know, where are you at, what state are you in, and what have you found to be the best camo pattern if you're trying to not be seen. Till then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Now, the blouse doesn't have a pocket large enough, but that's why I carry a backpack, and so I can do things like transport the tears of a commie, because you know, telling somebody that there is a best camo pattern, you can hear them typing their comments about how full of crap I am. So I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate all of you who share this out and do all of the things, because that in turn makes sure that there's more people crying and fills up my flask that much quicker. While I got you, a pal of mine from Tennessee, and I'm gonna call him a pal. He's been down here twice taking my courses, but he's just a really good dude. And he sent me this book, The Fighting Bunch. It's the Battle of Athens, and I'm gonna leave a link to a description. I'm gonna leave a link in the description if you want to go check out this book. But no matter what, make sure that you dig into and understand what happened in Athens, Tennessee after World War II. It's a phenomenal story about how a group of veterans and citizens came together, essentially conducted an armed insurrection in support and defense of the Constitution, freedom, and liberty. This is one of the most powerful stories I have ever read, and man, I'm super thankful that you sent this to me. I've done a lot more research in addition to reading this book, watched a lot of videos. Powerful freaking story. In short, man, it's all about Bill White, who amongst other folks from his county went off after World War II got started, after Pearl Harbor, and they fought on behalf of our nation, part of the greatest generation that we've ever had. While they were gone, some local politicians were doing the things and the shady things, all of the shady things, right? Treating people without dignity and respect, beating travelers who are coming through, basically shutting down the polls and making sure that only they and the folks that they wanted were being elected to maintain power. We're talking state level power and the county sheriff, right? So these guys come back and dudes are getting beat, like billy clubbed beat, like beat over the head with weapons, being shot at. And they decide that, man, we have to do something about this. So on the election day, they decided that they were going to ensure free and clear elections. And so they got together and they were poll watching. As they were poll watching, some of the sheriff's department came and ran some guys out, shot some other dudes, and beat some other dudes. But of course, by this time, they had already reached out to their state representatives, they had already reached out to the federal representatives, and nobody was paying attention. But the news media knew that there was something that was happening down here in the county. And so they were on the scene on election day. And everybody knew that one of two things was going to happen. We were going to ensure that everything was counted properly, or the bad guys and the oligarchs of their time and place were going to maintain power. So sure enough, the sheriffs come in, they take all of the ballots and they take them back to the courthouse, I believe it was. It was either the courthouse or the sheriff's department. And they knew at that point in time that they were going to call the election and they were going to maintain power. So they went down to the armory, they passed out a bunch of weapons, and these vets went and laid siege on this courthouse. And then, because bullets weren't enough, they started throwing frickin' dynamite. And then they knew they had to escalate what they were doing, because they knew that the Tennessee National Guard was coming in, right? And once they got in, they were going to control everything and end up listening to what the law enforcement was saying, because they were going to tell a different tale than what was actually happening. And so Bill White, they ended up getting into this building. They killed a few dudes, got killed, but they got in. National Guard arrived. They counted the ballots in front of everybody, and lo and behold, man, they won by an extreme amount. And this is what happens when good folks like you and I, we come together, we band together, we work together for the common good. Because the government is supposed to be restricted, right? If you read the Constitution, the whole point of the Constitution was to restrict the government and keep the government out of the business of the states and the people. And that's what all of our laws are supposed to be. But what it's all turned into is this slow boil over 100 years that's been rising. And we're becoming more and more accustomed and used to it. But at some point in time, that water's going to boil. So we need to make sure that we do what we need to now to prevent that level of extinction of us happening. Team, I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
We know you're out there! Come to my voice!